The US and the Philippines have launched their largest combat exercises in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. The annual drills by the longtime treaty allies is called BALENCIAGA. It will run up to the 28th of April and involve more than 17,600 military personnel. This is their biggest exercise in decades. It will involve live fire drills, including a boat-sinking rocket assault. A bank employee armed with a rifle shot 4 of his colleagues dead and wounded 9 other people at his workplace last evening. This was at the Old National Bank in Louisville, Kentucky. The suspect was later shot dead by the police. The attacker live-streamed the onslaught. Police identified the shooter as 23-year-old Connor Sturgeon. He joined the downtown branch of the Old National Bank as a full-time employee last year. US officials are scrambling to identify the source of what could be the most damaging leak of highly classified intelligence in over a decade. The development comes after dozens of confidential documents that appeared online. Some of the most sensitive information is related to Ukraine's military capabilities and shortcomings. According to the US National Security spokesperson John Kirby, some documents have been doctored. However, he declined to speak to the validity of what was leaked. US President Joe Biden has said he plans to run for re-election in 2024, but is not prepared to announce it yet. Both Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have said they will run together. As per media reports, top White House advisors are set to make the final decisions on launching Biden's re-election campaign. Biden, who turned 80 in November, is the oldest US president to hold office. Masked Irish protesters attacked police with petrol bombs and other objects at a parade yesterday. The rally took place in Londonderry in Northern Ireland. It was held to oppose the Good Friday Peace Accord. Monday marked the 25th anniversary of the signing of the Good Friday Agreement. The agreement largely ended 3 decades of sectarian bloodshed in Northern Ireland. The attack also came a day before US President Joe Biden's visit to Belfast. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has called for strengthening the country's war deterrence in a more practical and offensive manner. He has made the call to counter what he calls moves of aggression by the US and South Korea. North Korea has been reacting angrily to a recent series of joint military exercises conducted by the South and its allies. On Monday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he would leave Defense Minister Yoav Gallant in place, given an escalating security crisis. The latest announcement reverses a decision to fire the minister that triggered protests and raised alarm abroad. Netanyahu added that the two had resolved their disagreement. This was over Gallant's public call last month for a halt to the government's bitterly divisive judicial overhaul plan. China has ended 3 days of military drills around Taiwan, saying they had tested integrated military capabilities under actual combat conditions. China's state television showed footage of organized drills conducted by the various branches of the Chinese military around Taiwan. Taiwan's government strongly disputes China's claims and has denounced the drills. Japan's defense minister has described China's 3 days of military drills around Taiwan as intimidating training. The minister said that China appeared to have shown an uncompromising attitude regarding Taiwan issues through the drills. China began its military drills on Saturday. This was after Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen returned to Taipei following a meeting in Los Angeles with US House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. The Russia-installed head of Ukraine's Donetsk region has said that Moscow's forces controlled more than 75% of Bakhmut. The battle for Bakhmut has been one of the bloodiest of the Ukraine war. Russia says the capture of Bakhmut will open up the possibility of future offensives across Ukraine. Meanwhile, Kyiv and the West say the now smashed city has only a symbolic importance. Yesterday, the Israeli army fired tear gas towards Palestinians as they threw rocks in the village of Beita. The village is in the occupied West Bank. Meanwhile, thousands of Israelis, including government ministers, marched towards the evacuated outpost of Eviatar. Israeli-Palestinian violence has surged this year, with frequent military raids in the occupied West Bank amid a spate of Palestinian attacks. The Italian Coast Guard is conducting rescue operations on 2 boats in distress, carrying a total of 1,200 people. Both boats are in the Italian search and rescue area. The first operation was on a fishing boat carrying 800 people about 200 kilometers southeast of Syracuse in Sicily. In a second operation, Coast Guards assisted a fishing boat with 400 people on board. This was in the Ionian Sea off the coast of Calabria. A team from Iran will travel to Saudi Arabia in the next few days to prepare for the reopening of the Iranian embassy. China, Saudi Arabia and Iran announced on March 10th that the latter two had reached a deal. It includes the agreement to resume diplomatic relations and reopen embassies and diplomatic missions within 2 months. The air quality index in Vietnam's capital Hanoi has breached unhealthy levels. The PM 2.5 levels are currently 17 times more than the World Health Organization's guideline value. According to reports, vehicular emissions and crop burning are the reasons behind Hanoi's deteriorating air quality. A wildfire has broken out near South Korea's capital, Seoul. The Korea Forest Service reported that the fire started in the early morning hours of Monday. More than 570 firefighters, 6 helicopters and 41 fire engines have been deployed to extinguish the blaze. At least 20 local residents have been evacuated. Thick sandstorms have hit Beijing and several other areas in China. Residents have been advised of respiratory dangers and very low visibility while traveling. Forecasters have also issued a blue weather alert. China has a color-coded warning system. Red represents the most severe, while blue represents the least severe warning. Tornadoes have ravaged several parts of New Zealand. In the capital, Wellington, rooftops were lifted off buildings and flung about, leaving at least 1 injured. The tornadoes come amid 2 days of rough weather in New Zealand. At least 10 houses in the largest city, Auckland, remain uninhabited following a tornado on Sunday. Weather forecaster Skymet has said that India will likely receive below normal monsoon rains in 2023. Rains are expected to be 94% of the long-term average. Forecasters also warned of an increased likelihood of the El Niño phenomenon. El Niño typically brings dry weather to Asia. The Galapagos National Park has released 86 giant tortoises into the wild after a successful conservation program. The tortoises were fitted with an identification microchip for monitoring purposes. There are around 250 more specimens in the program waiting to be released. The National Park's conservation program has bred over 3,000 giant tortoises in the last 50 years. A group of climate activists have taken to the streets outside the World Bank headquarters in Washington, D.C. The activists were seen cycling during rush hour traffic, demanding an end to fossil fuel funding. They also called on incoming World Bank President Ajay Banga to take action on climate change. Twitter's ex-CEO Parag Agrawal and 2 other former executives are suing the social media platform. They're suing the company over its failure to cover more than $1 million in their personal legal expenses. All 3 executives were fired when Elon Musk took over the platform last year. Chinese conglomerate the Alibaba Group unveiled its new AI model called Tongyi Qianwen. The company plans to integrate the AI into all of its business applications in the near future. It will first be integrated into Alibaba's workplace messaging app. It will help summarize meeting notes, write emails, and draft business proposals. South Korea's antitrust regulator has fined Google nearly $32 million. The tech giant has been fined for blocking the release of mobile games on a competitor's platform. The Korea Fair Trade Commission has said that Google bolstered its market dominance and hurt the local app market. The regulator has said that its move against Google was an effort by the government to ensure fair market practices. The U.S. Treasury Undersecretary has come out and said that the U.S. banking sector will remain strong and resilient. The official said that regulators were working hard to shore up confidence in the sector. The Undersecretary also said that American officials will continue working with their foreign counterparts to bolster financial resilience. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will host a roundtable discussion with the World Bank and other development banks. The discussion comes as the IMF World Bank spring meetings are currently underway. Reports suggest that the banking turmoil is one of the several big priorities on Yellen's agenda. She will also discuss ways to tackle climate change and other global crises. Tech giants like Google and Amazon are offering lucrative severance pay to their employees to encourage resignations. Tech companies are facing some resistance due to strict labor protection laws in Europe. Google's parent Alphabet has reportedly asked employees to resign voluntarily and get a good severance package. Amazon is also offering its senior executives a severance package of as much as 1 year's wages for voluntary resignation. The leader of the U.S. Congressional Committee has said that he's concerned by Tesla's dependency on China. This comes after Tesla's latest deal to build a Megapack factory in Shanghai. A committee representative asked Tesla how it will balance U.S. government support for the company and its operations in China. U.S. plane maker Boeing has said that it intends to restore the production rate of its 737 MAX by January 2025. The plane maker aims to restore the rate to 52 units per month. This production rate was last seen in 2019. The 737 MAX was grounded after defects in the aircraft led to 2 severe crashes in 2018 and 2019. A Kuwaiti media outlet has launched a virtual news presenter called Feather. This has been generated using artificial intelligence. Reports say that Feather will soon be able to adopt a Kuwaiti accent and present news bulletins on the site's Twitter account. China's Payment and Clearing Industry Association has warned against ChatGPT and other AI tools. The association warned against risks such as cross-border data leaks. ChatGPT currently remains off-limits in China. It is, however, attracting huge interest amongst Chinese firms who want to integrate the technology into their products. Moving on to sports, we begin with cricket and the IPL. Lucknow Super Giants chased down 213 against Royal Challengers Bangalore to secure their 3rd win of the season. Nicholas Pooran hit 62 off 19 and Marcus Stoinis made 65 off 30 balls. The win comes as a pleasant change for Lucknow, as the Super Giants had lost both their matches against Royal Challengers Bangalore last year. Virat Kohli has become the 4th highest run scorer in T20 cricket. Kohli accomplished this feat during RCB's match against Lucknow Super Kings at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore yesterday. This season, Kohli has scored 164 runs in the 3 matches at an average of 82 and a strike rate of above 147 with 2 half-centuries. Delhi Capitals will be taking on Mumbai Indians in the 16th match of this season of the Tata IPL later this evening. Delhi Capitals are currently placed at the bottom of the points table. Mumbai Indians are currently at the 7th spot. The match is slated to begin at 7:30 p.m. IST. Indian swimmer MAANA Patel has set her sights on becoming the first Indian woman swimmer to compete at the Asian Games in 17 years. She's already realized her dream of representing India at the Olympics. MAANA was the only woman swimmer representing India at the Tokyo Olympics after gaining a universality quota place. In football, Pep Guardiola has defended Manchester City's failure to win the Champions League. He pointed out that even sporting greats like Jack Nicklaus and Michael Jordan lost more often than they won. City will play Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarter-finals. The first leg will be held at the Etihad Stadium tonight. The citizens have reached the last 8 for the 6th successive season, but they are yet to lift the trophy. Australia and New Zealand are marking the beginning of the 100-day countdown to the FIFA Women's World Cup today. The countries are calling for gender equity in sports and asking fans to get behind the event. The 32-team tournament is co-hosted by the two nations, will be the first Women's World Cup in the Southern Hemisphere. It will kick off in Sydney and Auckland on July 20th. Uncertainty surrounds US soccer striker Mallory Swanson's World Cup participation. The news comes after she tore a tendon during Saturday's 2-0 win over Ireland. Swanson had to be carried off on a stretcher just 3 months before the World Cup kicks off. A spokesperson for US soccer said Swanson had not yet undergone surgery and declined to elaborate on a timeline for her recovery. Germany and Brazil took part in final training sessions at the Max Morlock Stadium in Nuremberg on Monday. The teams are set to play their international women's friendly later tonight. The upcoming match is part of their preparation for the Women's World Cup. Germany faced tough opposition in reigning Copa America Femenina champions Brazil. Tennis World Cup number 1, Novak Djokovic, has called Rafael Nadal the most successful clay court tennis player of all time. Djokovic also said that Nadal's withdrawal from the Monte Carlo Masters gives others a chance. Rafael Nadal has been dealing with injuries since last year. He has decided not to participate in the Monte Carlo Masters for the same reason. Mercedes F1 racing boss Toto Wolff has said he has no plan B in the event Lewis Hamilton does not sign a new contract with Mercedes beyond 2023. 7-time world champion Hamilton has indicated he is keen on inking a new deal. However, there have been rumblings that Mercedes is reluctant to sign up for a similarly lucrative terms with the Briton. French fashion house Balenciaga has been slammed for a new bag from its summer 2023 collection. The oversized tote comes with a built-in glove, which the wearer can only use on their right arm. It's priced at $4,200. The bag is being criticized for making the wearer look like they're handling a puppet. Some also compared the glove design to a toilet cleaning rubber glove. Drama series Stranger Things is getting its own animated show. Streaming platform Netflix is in talks to expand the Stranger Things universe. A stage play and a live-action spin-off are also being discussed. The plans come just before the paranormal drama concludes after 5 seasons. Shooting for the final season will begin in June this year. Hit drama series The Last of Us will soon have a digital and Blu-ray release. The show's digital version will be available for pre-order on Amazon. In the digital version, fans will get special features like behind-the-scenes footage. A second season for the series is also being planned. American television franchise Chicago is renewing 3 of its popular shows. The shows Chicago Fire and Chicago PD have been picked up by network NBC for their 11th seasons. Meanwhile, Chicago Med will soon have its 9th season. Reality television star Kim Kardashian has joined the cast of American Horror Story. She will be part of season 12 of the horror anthology. The season is titled Delicate and is adapted from author Daniel Valentine's novel Delicate Condition. The season will release in August. Disney has set the Star Wars Celebration 2025 date and location for its popular sci-fi franchise. The gathering's next edition will be held from the 18th to the 20th of April in 2025. Fans of the franchise will gather near central Tokyo in Japan. Disney chose to skip 2024 as it has no big release from the franchise next year. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association has added 215 new international voters to its roster. This takes the total number of voters to 310 from over 76 countries. The move has been done to expand the voting body for the 81st Golden Globe Awards. With this, the association reiterates its pledge to increase the size and diversity of the voting body. Singer Miley Cyrus's song Flowers has hit 1.16 billion global audio streams. The song continues acing the US Billboard charts for an 11th week straight. Cyrus released the song in January this year in the album Endless Summer Vacation. Korean singer Suga has shared the tracklist from his debut solo album D-Day. Suga has credited late Japanese composer Ryuichi Sakamoto in one song titled Snooze. In another song, Suga credits fellow BTS band member J-Hope as collaborator. The 10-song album is set to release on the 21st of April. Singers Tom Morello and Babyface and actor Idina Menzel will be honored at Music Will's annual benefit gala. The honorees will dedicate their time to non-profit music education programs in local schools in the US. The ceremony will be held on the 2nd of May in Los Angeles.